Well, hello there. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're safe and well. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Falcon Optics Endura S10i rifle scope. Is it the best scope available for HFT? Let's find out, shall we? Roll the titles. Thanks for joining me again. Now, unless you're very new to the channel, you'll know that back in video 53, I took a look at LPVO scopes, and I reviewed this scope, which is the Eagle Talon 1:6x24 LPVO scope from CV Life, and I went on to use it with my BRK Ghost in the UK 2-2 HFT Championships, which was covered in video 61. Now, at the end of that video, after my experiences of using this, a couple of limitations that I found. While this being a great scope to use, main two limitations really was that the magnification only goes up to 6 times, and I usually shoot at 10 times magnification, and this only had the BDC reticle on it, so it's got very limited aim points for working out your holdovers, or if you're that way inclined, hold unders, to shoot an HFT course. So looking around at what was available, I come across this scope that that seemed to overcome those issues, and discovered that it was on sale at Optics Warehouse. So I spent some of my pennies on this, which is the Falcon Optics Endura S10i. As you can see, quite similar. It is an LPVO scope, but a little bit longer. It still has the same 24mm objective lens up this end, but this one is 1 to 10 times, and it's got an MRAD reticle. So hopefully this will resolve the issues that I highlighted with the CV Life Eagle Talon. So what we'll do is I'll put this on the whirly thing so we can have a closer look at it, and then we'll get down to the features, shall we? Let's take a look at the features then, starting at the ocular lens, which is 44.5mm in diameter. The ocular adjustment, this is to focus in the reticle, is firm but smooth, so you won't need to tape that up. You'll notice there's a little dot there. I thought this was a scratch to begin with, but that dot's supposed to be there so you can check your alignment. I don't know if the camera will pick this up, but on the matte finish, the name of the scope and its specification is sort of like screen printed on top, and there's a little arrow, and personally I've found that that dot aligned with that arrow gives me the perfect focus on the ocular. So moving up then, we've got the magnification adjustment. You can see you've got a throw lever. You do need the throw lever because this is quite firm. It moves smoothly, nice and smooth, feels like quality. But you do need the throw lever helps. So you can see we go up from 1 times mag right up to 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 4, right up to 10 times. And the reason that the 10 times has got the circle around it is to show you that that is the magnification for 100% accuracy, because it's an MRAD reticle. Now the reticle on this they call it their P22 reticle, and it is accurate at 10 times. So and you'll notice on that reticle the illumination is the floating red dot only. So moving up then to the turrets, got the side turrets first, and you can see quite conveniently they put little arrows where you can see them. This is the first for me. I've not seen this on any other scope. They normally put it on the top of the turret where you can see there you've got the arrow for turning, but they've conveniently put the direction of turn on the side for both the windage and for the elevation as well, which is handy. They are 1/10 mil turrets, and you pull them out to adjust and click. Each click's 1/10 of a mil dot, so 10 clicks is 1 mil. Nice definite click there, and then push that in. When you've zeroed, you can undo this cap and move the dial round so that you can show it as back on exact 0 when you get your settings. Same for the elevation. Pull that out, and you've got the adjustment. Push to lock, and the same cap to adjust again. Then we've got the illumination at the side here. Undo the battery cap. It takes a CR2032 battery, which is pretty standard. There are 12 levels of illumination, and in between each level where the dot is, that's off. So once you get your illumination level, you haven't got to go all the way round. You can go one click up or down to turn it off, and then reverse to get it back on again. So that's a nice touch. And then up to the end then, we've got the 24mm objective lens. Comes with a sunshade, an aluminium alloy sunshade that screws on, makes the scope a bit longer. Also comes in the box, you get the lens caps, front and rear lens caps, so you don't need to buy those. So that's the scope then. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fit this on my my HW97, which is my primary HFT rifle. If you watch the channel, you know I'm a Springer shooter. No problems with recoil with this scope, because this scope is, you know, being an LPVO scope, this is designed for powder burners, so it'll be quite happy with the recoil from a spring air rifle, a sub 12 spring air rifle. So that's what we're going to put it on, and then we'll take it out and zero it in, see where we get on. Oh, one point I did miss. You notice that there's no focus adjustment on there. Like the Eagle Talon, this is fixed focus at 25 meters, and as I normally use a parallax setting of 25 yards, that's going to be fine for me. So yeah, so fixed focus, fixed parallax at 25 meters. So let's get it on the rifle and out and shoot it and get it zeroed in. As you can see, I've mounted the scope, used a single mount. I don't think I mentioned before, it's a 30mm tube, so I've got my single mount and set on. Usually they usually recommend a single mount for springers. I haven't noticed much difference, to be honest, between, you know, separate rings or just a one piece, but there you go. As you can see, sun's really bright today. There's a bit of a breeze blowing. It sort of comes and goes, but it's mostly, I've got a wind flag out down there. It's you know, learning about wind flags since I started shooting a bit of bench rest, and so wind's blowing mostly towards me. I've done a rough zero in, just with a blank bit of cardboard with a dot in it, just so I could see where the shots were going. It was shooting slightly low and to the left, so I've brought that back in to sort of near enough. Just going to fine tune it. Got a target out, just going to put some pellets down range at 25 yards, just to make any little minor adjustments I need to make. So let's get on with it, shall we? I'm using the FT Exact 8.4s in this rifle because it seems to like them. and I've got a few tins still, so that's what we use. Move that bag out the way. Safety off. Right, see how we get on. Got a camera downrange, so we'll see how we go with this floating dot. Ooh. That went off a bit sort of premature actually. The problem that I have a lot of the times with scopes, the thing that I find, when the sun's at an angle like this, you get the sun shining on the eyepiece, and it's a bit difficult to sort of get your eye alignment sorted out because you get a bit of dazzle back from the sun. I guess I should have put scope enhancer on. I will do eventually, but we'll go with what we've got. Safety. Bit more like it, slightly to the top of the ball. Let's move along to the next target, see if it lands in the same place. The windage looked good. Just might need to make a click or two on the elevation, but see how we go. Smack bang on, I think. Moving on to the next one. Wind's twisted a little bit around to the side. If it does come from the side, we're getting it a bit. Oh, actually, the wind's behind me. Gotten used to these wind flags, yeah. The wind's blowing straight behind me over my shoulder, and when it does turn, it's coming a little bit from the right. But I haven't seen that in pellet deflections yet, so we'll keep going. Oh, that one went off. Iron to the right. That must have been me. That wouldn't have been the wind. So, try that one again. Yep. Looks like that one's to the top as well. What I'm going to do, maybe give it one click down, which should bring it down 1/8 of an inch. So lift up, one click down. We'll see how we get on with that. Oh, that's gone high again. That must be me. Let's put another one in that target. What I want to do when I get this set that I'm happy with it is I'll stick the peg out and I'll shoot a group from the peg just to make sure that it's the same. Oh. Close to the one above it, so it might need to come down a little bit more. Let's try another. See where this third pellet goes. If it touches those two, then I'll bring it down some more. Yeah, so that one's the right sort of level. Find the next target along. And it's not ideal conditions for zeroing, really. I like it to be still very still or indoors, but it is what it is. I'm going to come down another click. Actually, I think I said one click was an eighth of an inch, didn't I? It's not actually, it's 16th. 2 clicks is an eighth of an inch. Sorry about that. So now we've come down an eighth. Right, what we're going to go for now, we'll go for the second row, first target on the left, I guess. And there we go, bang on the money, that one. So what I'm going to do is get the peg out now. I'll put the, I think I'll put the hit target up, and we'll have a go at the hit target, see how we get on with that. Okay, well, as you can see, I've moved the bench, got the peg out. Should have started this in the first place, really. Shooting on the table was a bit erratic. I was trying to rush things, and I wasn't relaxed, so I took a bit of a break, calmed it down, got the peg out, went back to the old faithful horizontal and vertical line, and I think I've got it near enough zeroed in now. So I'm just taking a few practice shots. I've got the Know Your Limits HIT electric target out, and just going to check if I can get 5 15 mils in a row. Then I think that's pretty. That'll do me for now. And I might have a go at the 10 mil and the 8 mil and see how we get on as well. But you see as well, I fitted my old faithful pig's ear on, because I do find that easier personally with sorting out my eye relief. So let's give it a go, shall we? So I'm aiming at the 15mm target, which is the third from the left, third from the right, actually, yeah. And we'll see how we get on. That's the first one. Having to get used to this new reticle, and you know what it looks like with the target behind it and everything. And so far not too bad. It's thick enough but not too thick. I think the floating dot's a bit bigger than on the CV Life scope, but so far it's not too big that you can't fit it in the 15mm kill easily enough. But that's 2. Oh, back to the old burpees again, up and down. Three. Oh. One more. Oh. That's the 5th. Okay, so that'll do me. Should we push our luck now? Try the 10 and the 8. See how we get on. Yeah, why not? We're out here. Use a few pellets. Right. Try the 10mm first. Well, that's the 10. Right, one go at the 8. See if our luck's in today. Well, I think we'll quit while we're ahead. I would say that, you know, that's zeroed in for now. Might need to do a bit fine tuning, just a 1 or 2 clicks if I can get a really sort of a still evening, or get inside with it where I can shoot from the peg. Much prefer trying. This is what I should have done in the first place. Zeroed it in with the peg, but we get there in the end. So yeah, and getting used to the reticle and what it looks like, and I must admit I'm finding it easier focusing on a black dot rather than the centre of a crosshair. Personally, you know, that seems to work for me. So we'll stick with this for now and see how we get on. Next thing is to try it on a course, I guess. The one thing that most HFT shooters are going to want to know when looking at a new scope is how good is it at range finding using the blur once you've set your parallax. So let's have a look, shall we? So I set up my side shot scope cam and took these photos of the same target at different distances, and you can see at 8 yards although the outline of the faceplate is quite blurry, you can clearly see the kill zone, and then the blur progressively reduces up to just before 20 yards, when you could say that it's then perfectly in focus. So there's good potential here once you get used to the amount of blur at the different distances for using it for range finding for these short shots. Then at further distances on most scopes you can usually see a blur difference between 40 and 45 yards, but as you can see here it's not that noticeable with this scope. So what you gain for the short range finding. I guess you lose a little bit for the long shots. So the plan was, after zeroing the scope, to take the rifle with the scope fitted down to Springfield HFT course and take it around the course to see what it was like in the woods. Well, as they say, bad things come in threes, and turned out trip was a bit of a disaster. First off, I forgot my shooting glove, which you know, trying to shoot a Springer up the pleg without a glove is a little bit tricky. Secondly, you know, major schoolboy error, I never torqued up the scope mount bolts on the rail, so they weren't as tight as they should have been. And I didn't notice when I first started shooting the pegs that the scope mount was gradually creeping back along the dovetail. So as soon as that moved, my zero was out, which made all the shots pretty pointless up until I realised and re-zeroed the rifle. And then finally, third thing, got home, and I don't know how I managed it. The first time I've done it, I managed to delete most of the files that I recorded of the camera pointing downrange at the target. So I only ended up with a handful of files. Anyway, I'll show you what I've got, and then what we'll do is I'm not going to have time, didn't have time to go back down there and redo that. So we did a bit of checking my holdovers in the garden at different distances, and then I'll show you that. Okay, so I'm here at Springfield Airgun Club on the HFT course to put the scope through its paces. I've just been on the plinking range and put 5 pellets through the 97 just to check my zero. All seems okay. So what I'm going to do is work my way around the course. I'm going to do it backwards actually. So I'm starting at peg 30 here. I'm not going to film every single peg. What I'll do is sort of like odd ones along the way, different ranges, and hopefully they'll be the ones I knock over. I've forgotten my gloves, of all things, so be the first time I think I've shot a course without gloves, so we'll have to see how that goes. Might be an improvement. So let's get on with it, shall we? So this one's a bit closer than the last target. I'd say this is near around 20 yards. So I'm gonna, well, it does feel weird not having gloves. I'm trying to push onto the peg. So I'm just going to use crosshairs on this one. I'm not seeing any wind. Well, just taking a break because I'm finding that I'm sort of like getting a bit wound up, or winding myself up a bit. It's quite hard when you bring in, you're setting up video cameras to shoot and everything. You've got more than enough to think about just taking the shot without worrying about where the cameras are and stuff. So it's been affecting my shooting. Didn't plan properly for this shoot either. Obviously, forgetting my gloves and forgetting my elbow pads. You know, it's a good lesson to learn. You need to practice how you shoot. You know, if you use different equipment every time, you're not going to get anywhere. So practice how you intend to shoot. Also found, basic schoolboy error especially for a Springer. I didn't tighten the mount up on the dovetail tight enough, and I noticed that it crept back slightly. So I had to stop shooting and go and reset my zero. So trying to calm it down a little bit, and hopefully the next few shots will be a little bit better. I am getting there, but it's a lot to contend with. New scope, new setup. Spring is still pretty new to me with a new spring in it as well. So yeah, got a lot going on, but we're getting there. So anyway, I thought that was worth mentioning. Right, this peg, considering there's no string left on the spool, it's obviously probably going to be close to, if not full distance, which is 45 yards. So what I'm going to do is use me, I'm going to come short of 45. I'm going to use 1.5 mil dots. No, 1.25 mil dots I'm going to put my 1 mil dot mark at the top of the target. Just looking at the string to see if there's a bit of a breeze there, but I'm going to actually shoot it no wind at the moment. No, that wasn't a very good shot. I'm really struggling without my gloves to get a stable position on the peg. But nothing wrong with the scope image, it's just my poor shooting. The problem is I don't want to touch the peg with a stock, and usually the gloves help with that. There we go. Yeah, needed a bit more holdover, so I know that now. Those long distance ones, I need to give it 1.5 mil dots. There we go, 35 yards. Time to drag myself up the hill then, back to the car park, get back, and we'll have a chat about this scope, shall we? Thought what I'd do while I've got the opportunity is shoot in the garden at my HFT practice target, and just check out that I've got the right holdovers, that I'm actually going to hit the kill zone at sort of like the main distances, just to check that my holdovers work correctly. So we're starting off then 8 yards, which is obviously going to be the closest target I get. Now, one of the things that I've noticed with this scope is, unlike other scopes that I've used, you can't move the kill zone to the edge of the picture in the scope and like move your head around to get it in focus. That just doesn't work. So whereas, you know, with other scopes I'd try to find the top edge of the kill zone by getting it in focus and sort out my aim point from there. With this one, I'm going to have to use like the center of the kill. So what I'm going to try is put in the 10-yard aim point, which is 1 mil dot in the center of what I can see of the kill zone, and we'll see if that knocks the target over, or if it gets me 2 points at 8 yards. Let's just give it a go then. You might notice on there I've got my side cam. I've not used the side cam on the Springer before, so I don't know whether it's going to work or not. We'll have to see how it goes. Right, so you see through the scope, targets are fairly out of focus, and so that's the 40, the 35, the 25, so that should be the 20 there. My safety's off. I'm going to put 1 mil dot in the middle of the black spot, and I think you can see it's set at the top. That worked a treat. Let's try that one again. So 1 mil dot in the top then. Oh, missed that time. Looking at that, I think there's you can see that we've hit slightly low on that. Let's see if we can get it this time, then take a bit more time on my aim, I think. There we go. So if I aim in the right place, it works. So we've got our aim point then for for 8 to 13, so I'll stick this target out at 15 yards and we'll look at that one next. Right, target set at 15 yards now, so we're going to switch to the 15mm. Now on my holdover chart, my aim points, 15 yards is 1/4 of a mil dot. So if we put the floating dot on the top edge of the keel, that should be about right, and you should find that the focus is a little bit better now because of the distance. So the nearer we get to 20 yards, the nearer the target comes into focus. Yeah. And there you can see 15 yards a little bit more. So we want the 1/4 mil dot in there, so I want to fit the dot and the 1/2 mil dot both in the target. And there we go, you can see it swinging away. It didn't set at the top, but we did hit it. We'll try it again. Right, try it again just to prove it wasn't luck. Oh, there you go. It's actually set this time, gone up to the top. So we know that one works. Now we need to move out to 30 yards because we know from 20 to 25 and beyond it's all going to be the 0. So we'll move out to 30, and 30 yards should be the same aim point as 15 yards, which is 1/4 mil dot. So I'll move the target and then we'll give that one a go. Right, target set up at 30 yards then. So as I said before, it's a 1/4 mil dot. And we're back on the, because it's 30 yards, we're back on the 20 mil target. See, the target's a lot better in focus now. And that's a kill. Got to do that again because I didn't switch the... Yeah, I didn't switch this on to record, so let's try that again. 30 yards. There we go. Right, let's try the 30 yards again. When I tried to do it the first time, the glasses were misting up, couldn't see anything. So let's set this to record. Hopefully I'll be able to see through the scope this time without any mist getting in my eyes. Right, so we're shooting the 20 mil target then, and it's currently at the top because I hit it last time. Got to hit it again to knock it down. Oh, I'm trying to get my heart rate down after all this rushing about. There we go. Knocked it down to the bottom. So that was 1/4 mil dot then. So now we're going to move out to 35 yards. So the target's out at 35 yards now. So we're in the realms of the 25mm diameter kill. Smallest kill at that distance. Got some creaky boards here. And what did I say? 35 yards was just over half a mil dot. So safety's off. There we go. Clearly hit that. Ooh. Try it again. Try it again. Ooh. Ooh. Still recording, yep. I think we missed it that time. And that actually set at the top, that shot. You see the pedal's gone up to that top point and stuck. And my glasses are misting up again. That stuff I put on wasn't very good, was it? I need to sort this out before we go out to 40 yards. So let's take a break for a bit. Right, so we're out at 40 yards now. Had another go with the mister on my glasses. Hopefully that'll work this time. So 40 yards is the furthest I can go using the peg on my garden range. And we got the helicopter coming over, making a row because it's low cloud, so everything's flying over really low today. So we'll wait for the helicopter to go past. Shall we? Oh, I can't see it because it's above the cloud. The cloud's very low today. Oh, right. So now the helicopter's passed, we get back to it. 40 yards, which is furthest distance for the for a 25-yard kill. So we're still on the 25-yard kill. Safety off. And you can see that the whole 25-yard at the bottom there, it's still sitting up at the top, so I've got to reset it from the last shot. And 1 mil dot is 41 yards, so we can probably ignore the 1 yard and just take the 1 mil dot. There we go, and it's gone back down to the bottom. Let's have another go at that. Oh. We can aim at the bottom now, this time. So this is quite handy. The light is not brilliant today, and the target is in a shady area. Where my backstop is, so you can see, you know, that there's not a great deal of light coming through the scope, but you can still make out the kill zones. And with a yellow flat face plate and a black kill zone, it would obviously stand out a bit more, be a bit more striking through the scope. So the scope can cope with these conditions quite well. There we go. Got it again. Right, so I know all my aim points are pretty good then, but you know, you probably didn't learn too much about the scope from me doing that. It's more for my own benefit for the next comp. But it gave me an opportunity to try the side mount scope cam and show some shots through the scope from the Springer, just to give you an idea of what things look like through the scope. So there you go. Okay, so time to wrap this one up then. So what are my thoughts on this scope, the Falcon Optics Endura S10i? Well, overall it perfectly fills in those gaps that I felt were missing when I did the review of the CV Life scope on my LPVO video. I'm loving this LPVO format with the fixed parallax. Just one less thing to worry about. I mean, a couple of times, you know, when I've been in comps, I've gone down the plinking range and I've changed the, you know, I've changed the focus to check on my holdovers, and then stupidly have forgot to put it back to the setting that it needed to be for the comp, and you know, fallen foul of that. So with this, you know, fixed at 25 meters, don't have to worry about that. You just get on with it. We've got the 10 mag on this, which makes up, you know, so much of a difference, you know, compared to the 6 mag that I was using before on the other one. And the reticle, I'm really liking the reticle on this. And as you've seen through, you know, through the scope shots, you've got all of those holdover points that are not too much in the way for left and right windage, you know, below the horizontal element. So for somebody like me that is always shooting holdovers and doesn't bother with any hold unders, then that's perfect. I've no problem with the turrets. You know, I like the way they work, the click, and you know, managed to zero them perfectly. I haven't used the illumination yet. I'll have to stick a battery in and try that, but I tend, you know, I've never used illumination on a course anyway. Another thing as well to remember, you've got the smallest objective that that you're likely to find on a scope, 24 millimeters, I think it was. So if you are worried about parallax error, then you know, obviously the diameter of the objective is a major factor in the amount that you can get. Offhand, I don't know what the maximum is on this, but I've found, you know, I found this quite easy to shoot without a scope enhancer. Although I will be putting a scope enhancer on it. I found, you know, this is a lot easier to align than I've found on a lot of other scopes. You get a very definite circle if you've got your you know, your eye alignment proper on it. So yeah, so I mean, for the price at the moment, if you shop around, I bought this from Optics Warehouse just under £270. So I think for the price, it's a pretty good buy. So if you fancy one of these and you can pick one up for that price, then I would say go for it. So I will be shooting this coming up very shortly. I've got a couple of comps, and so this is going to stay on the Springer for the moment and see how I do in HFT comps with it. But yeah, anyway, hope you found that interesting. You know, give this a serious look. Guess is a little bit of a different format to what you're used to for normal scopes, but you know, worth giving these new things a try. And so hopefully you found that interesting, enjoyed some of that, the shooting footage and stuff. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye for now.